being here today. We are so excited to share with y'all our service project group. So let's go ahead and introduce ourselves. My name is Hannah Craycraft. This is the Garrett Scardino, Asher Novak, Caitlin Evans, and last but certainly not least, Jackie Farrell. We had the opportunity to serve the Turn Center. The Turn Center is a nonprofit organization located in Amarillo, Texas. They serve special needs children ages 0 through 20 with speech, occupational, and physical therapy. We got to serve them throughout this entire year. And through this year, we learned a lot about ourselves and about each other. We got to use our Clifton strengths every single day when we were working with them. So if you're not familiar with what the Clifton strengths are, they fall into 4 different domains. We have executing, influencing, relationship building, and strategic. Each of these are important to a team and to a person. So I'm going to explain a little bit about what each team member used as their strength. So Garrett used his adaptability to communicate well with the Turn Center. He was our contact person. So he communicated with the group as well as with the Turn Center. He did a great job being flexible and adaptable to every situation. Asher used his discipline. Now, this was very important because some members, mostly me, didn't want to get the project done right then. But thanks to Asher, he inspired me. He used his discipline to inspire me to get my work done. So, shout out Asher. Caitlin used her significance. And as you can see, she's holding the binder. She's highlighting this project is significant. And each member is significant in our group. This was super important to team bonding and to really focus on our project. It was a great addition. Jackie was the learner. She learned what the Turn Center needed, and she also learned and continued to learn about each member of the group. She highlighted how important relationships are and how important it is to connect well with others. I used futuristic, which is my top strength, to help the team envision what the final product would be, as well as what the final presentation would be. Now, we've learned a lot about leadership and about ourselves through this whole process. Next, Garrett is going to talk about the tasks that we completed for the Turn Center.
Thanks, Anna. So during our initial visit at the Turn Center, we proposed several ideas to them, such as Therapist Appreciation Day, Kids Day Out, and a couple others. But after kind of talking amongst the group, we sat down and decided we want to kind of shift our focus towards a project with a longer lasting impact than opposed to a project that has a one-day event. And this shift honestly came as, during our first time touring the Turn Center, we realized that each year they have to wait list or turn away, hundreds of families due to kind of just limited size and resources. So kind of help mitigate this in the past, the Turn Center uses a brochure board up front in their lobby to kind of extra assist these families, a little bit extra resources and so forth. So we did a little bit of soul searching, sat down, and after talking to Miss Bell, Miss Amy Lovell, we sat down and proposed a project that we felt was just kind of right for them. We decided and proposed to them to reinvent this brochure board and do both an online version and a hard copy version, as you can see here, of a resource guide for them. We kind of felt that the guide would be a lot easier in access for these families of an abundance of resources that is all compiled into one folder with QR codes that at the bottom, just easy access for all. It's also very easy to update and maintain, so the Turn Center kind of keep it updated as they go, as they find more locally sourced nonprofits around the Panhandle. And next, Asher here is going to talk a little bit more about the resource guide and a little bit about the contents involved.
Thank you, Garrett. So as you may have noticed, Caitlin is holding the resource guide. So before I continue, I would like to show you guys what it looked like. As a visual learner myself, I would just like to show you everything that's in it. So the first page is to suggest a resource, because there is no possible way that we would get every single possible resource in here. So this goes to a Google form where people who are living in this life, who have family members with special needs, can suggest an additional resource that we do not have yet. This right here is the template that we use that I will get into in a moment. And then we have it divided into categories based upon what they may be looking for. So the first being medical, and another example that we would have would be education. We have a couple more, such as housing support services, food, clothing, and shoes, and other things like that. So how did we get from the task that Garrett talked about to this final result? So to start off, the Turn Center sent us approximately 20 resources to start with, and then we began individually searching for resources on our own. However, what we quickly learned is that searching just for a all-around guide, searching for resources that help special needs families, if it was as easy as that, this probably would have been done already. So what we did is, as we began searching, we came across Panhandle Gives. If you don't know what Panhandle Gives is, it is a fundraising event held by the Amarillo Area Foundation, held for the nonprofits in Amarillo and surrounding areas. They have listed on their website all of the nonprofits that they donate to in this event. So we went into every single resource that they have and saw if it could possibly be applicable to these people at the Turn Center. So even if it was questionable, we put it on a list and we put to call them, because a lot of resources don't explicitly state whether they are accessible to all people. So things like summer camps that are nonprofits and free to everybody may not be accessible to people with special needs. So that took additional calling and emailing and possibly even reaching out on social media. After we finalized this list, after calling and writing everybody down, we did put it into a template. This template consists generally of their mission, if it is relevant to how they are helping these individuals. It consists of what they are doing, additional information of how you can help and how they can help you, as well as a picture and a QR code to their website. Then we printed it out, laminated it, hole punched it, and put it into this wonderful customized Turn Center binder. If you have any questions or would like to see it up close further, we will have it at the bistro table afterwards. Next, we have Caitlin, who is going to be talking about our impact and our challenges.
Thank you, Asher. So the impact of our service project is a resource guide with 75 plus resources divided into 11 broad categories. We were also able to donate 15 items, as seen over there, to the Turn Center from the Therapist Amazon wish list. Now, while this service project is going to have a lasting impact, it did not come without its challenges. So the first challenge that we faced as a team was finding a time for us to meet together. We all lead very busy, high-stress, high-paced lives, and so we can never find that time to just sit down and get our project done. So we started turning our assignments in borderline late, and we were doing them last minute. And we realized that we weren't making this service project a priority in our lives. And so that's when we realized that everybody is busy, and as Rick says, being busy is never an excuse, and that we needed to make this project a priority. So we all sat down together, we found a time that we could all meet every single week, and we decided to commit to that time. So that is how we overcame this challenge. We committed. We committed not only to our team, but to the service project as well. The second challenge that we faced was staying on track and staying focused, as probably Hannah mentioned earlier. So we finally found a time that we could all meet, but that is when we realized that we liked each other a little bit too much. And so we love to talk about anything and everything except for the project itself. And so that's when we realized that it's okay to rely on our team members to hold us accountable and hold us honest. And this is when we relied heavily on Asher's discipline and Hannah's futuristic outlook to keep us on track to complete this project. And we learned that we don't have to always just rely on ourselves. We can rely on those around us and on our team members. The third challenge that we faced as a team was some design conflict ideas about what our poster should look like, as well as what the pages should look like in our resource guide. Now, this challenge could have been very difficult to overcome, and it could have resulted in a lot of arguments. but it never did with our team. And that is because we established something early on that was vital to our success, and that is trust. Every foundation of a team relies on trust. A team without trust will surely fail. Because we had established trust early on in our team, we were able to have open and honest discussions, and even if we disagreed, we knew it was going to be okay because we would come to a compromise. And I know that the reason why our project was so successful is because we had established trust and we trusted each other as a team. And I'll now hand the mic over to Jackie, who's going to tell you what we learned as a team.
Thank you, Caitlin. Okay, so first of all, I want to say thank you to you guys at the Turn Center. This project has just been such an incredible opportunity. I'm going to talk a little bit about what we learned, and I want to say while we were aiming to make an impact on y'all, this project really made an impact on us. So for starters, one of the most obvious things that you would probably assume we would get out of this service project is some building on our professional skills. We had to keep in contact with professional organizations. Garrett was our contact person for this, so he really got a lot of practice in this. He was emailing the Turn Center back and forth throughout the duration of the project. But he wasn't the only one that was doing this contacting. Asher mentioned earlier we had to reach out to these organizations and ask them if they had services for these kids with special needs and what that looked like, and if we could include them on our resource guide. And then, so that was one. We also learned a lot about graphic design, which I'm an ag comm major, so this was great for me. Like I never thought I would use Canva so much. But with it being over 75 resources, we each took a bunch, and we learned a lot about making QR codes. We had to go back through and redo several. And so that was our second thing that we learned a lot about. And then one of the other things that we learned about was servant leadership. This is something that Rick has kind of talked about. We're all, for the most part, as lead scholars, pretty driven achievers. When you come in to lead, you think, what can I do to make myself a better leader? What can I do so that others really look up to me? That kind of thing. And it's all kind of about me. And this project, I think one of the biggest things that it did for us was it made us not focus so much on us. As Stanley Schaefer told me at a lead networking event not too long ago, it really means nothing if you don't give back. And I was like, whoa. And it really makes you think. So I want to say thank you to you guys so much for this opportunity to get to serve your incredible organization. It's so cool to see what you guys are doing, and we really hope that this project is something that just continues to benefit you. Thank you to Amy Lovell, thank you Haley Bell, thank you Miss Susan Buchanan, I don't know if she's here, and thank you to Rick and Miss Kimberly, and to Missy, I don't think she's here, and thank you to all you guys for being here.